this video, I'm gonna show you how to make a box with a nice slip fit lid. The majority of the box is gonna be made from some nice black walnut that I have book matched. The accent for the top and bottom of the lids are gonna be some cherry burl that I resawed. Looks really nice. And then for the liner inside, to give a little bit of contrast, we're gonna go with some flat sawn hickory. At this point, I've already sanded all the pieces to 180 grit, so that way when we get to making the joinery, we're not compromising our joints any at all by sanding material away. Now, what I need to decide is exactly where I want to cut for the sides of the box, and as much as possible, I'm going to try to make it look like the grain is wrapping all the way around the outside of the box. So let's get going with that. For this video, I'm gonna have the overhead dust collection and blade guard out of the way for some of the cuts, just so that you can see the process a little bit better. And also, my SawStop has a sliding table here on the left side, and as you can see, this could get in the way. What I do to keep this out of the way is I simply loosen this knob over here on the left, and I just pivot the sliding portion of the table, so that way I have access to the left side of the table and I can move freely without this getting in the way. So with that out of the way, I'm ready to start ripping my boards and we can get going. So my first cut is going to be to bring these pieces down to their final width. I want my box to be 4.5 inches tall, so gonna get this all set up for that. I really like this sapwood contrast there at the top, so I'm gonna make sure to run that against the fence and not cut that off. So okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is cut the groove in the sides of the box to fit the top and bottom panels. That's this cherry burl. So just gonna figure out how thick this is and then make a groove to match that thickness. So obviously I need a groove at both edges of this material and I need to not cut all the way through it. So my material is roughly 1/4 inch thick. I wanna be just a little bit less than that. So we'll shoot for about 1/8 inch. And honestly, all I'm gonna do is put my material up to the side of the blade and just eyeball how deep I want it to be. It doesn't have to be completely scientific. You're more than welcome to do as much measuring as you would like to, but for me, that's all I'm gonna do. So we'll cut the groove and then I'll measure how deep it is. So let's get this groove cut. I just wanna do a quick check. Make sure things are looking good and where I want them to be. Yep. Okay, so we got the first pass for our groove cut on the inside of both of these pieces at the top and bottom. The groove is not wide enough for our top material. So what I'm gonna do is bump the fence over just a touch. We'll barely kiss the beginning of one of these grooves and double check it. And once we get the fit right where we want it to be to match this, then we'll finish making that cut with the other pieces. I want to push the fence to the right, so I'm not reducing this amount of material right here. I want to cut into the inside of the box. So we have the groove cut in both of these pieces, and as you can see, the top material fits in there nice and snug. So now what I'm gonna do is get the slider set up, bring this fence back to 90 degrees, and get ready to cut our 45s on our box pieces. Also, I'm not going to use the same blade I was using to rip and groove these walnut pieces. I'm gonna switch to an 80 tooth blade, which is ideal for cross cutting or cutting thin material. Now what I'm going to do is lay them out with some blue painter's tape at each one of the seams. We'll mock up the box being assembled. We'll get measurements for the top and bottom pieces. There we are, we've got all of our corners taped. And now what we're gonna do is take some measurements of the inside, and then we're gonna add back the depth of the grooves that we cut. So I've got my very technical project plan, and we're just gonna take our measurements. We got our top and our bottom pieces cut, and I went ahead and marked them with some masking tape because I was thinking about how I want them to look in the box, and I got that laid out, and I don't want to forget when I'm gluing it up. Now we're just going to untape one of these corners and throw some glue in the miters, put our top and bottom in, and then wrap the thing up, throw some more tape on the edges to clamp it nice and tight. Yeah, then we're gonna wait for the glue to fully cure, so that way we don't kick off the brake on our SawStop. And you know, a great thing to do while you wait for glue to dry is go to lunch. All right, so back from lunch and time to take the tape off of the box, make sure that everything looks nice and dry, and get this cut open. So all the tape is off and those seams are looking really nice. So now what we need to do, this is our top, we need to figure out exactly where we want to make our cut to open up this box. The box is 4.5 inches tall. I think that right at 3 inches is maybe 3 1/8 is where I'll cut it. I think that'll look nice. So we'll head over to the table saw, get the fence set up, and I'll show you how to cut this open. All right, so as you saw, I started off cutting the box with the short side down first, and then went to the long side, short side again, and then finished up on a long side. And I do that just because it's a little bit more stable and I have more space to hold the lid right here with my fingers as I push the box through and then pull away the lid. The next thing that some folks like to do is to tape some sandpaper down to the top of their saw and sand the bottom, this cut surface, and then the top and cut surface on the lid. I'm not gonna do that today. These came out really nice, so I really actually don't even need to flat sand them. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is go ahead and just hand sand this cut edge real quick on both the lid and the bottom of the box itself. So that way when I get the liner put in, I'm not trying to sand right up in between the liner and whatnot. That'd be just a little bit cumbersome. So next I'm going to cut the lining for the inside of the box. So just grab my tape measure, measure inside the box. The depth is 2 9/16. So add a 1/4 inch to that. So that gives us 2 13/16. So I'll rip my material for the lining real quick to 2 13/16 wide. And then after that, we will get started cutting it to fit inside the box. All right, so the one thing I'll say before I start cutting this lining to size is I want to decide which surface I want to be facing in. Since I have a nice long strip, I'm going to try and do a continuous grain wrap around the inside of the box. So what I'm going to do is just put some blue painter's tape in a couple of spots where I think I'll end up having my pieces, and then I'll know that the blue painter's tape needs to be facing in. So I'm going to cheat a little bit and use my box as kind of a guide. I could obviously write on the inside of this, but if I do that, then I would have to sand all of those marks off. And since this is already sanded, I would rather not have to sand again. So I'll get the miter cut on this first side and then I'll measure it and we'll just go from there. So I'm just gonna write the number 1 on the back side of this, and I'm gonna write the same number here on the inside of the box. It's gonna end up getting covered up, so I'm not worried about having to erase it later on. So all I'm gonna do is I have my mitered edge. I'm gonna set it against the inside of the box just a little bit. And then I'm gonna make a mark just right there where I need to make my cut on the other side of this first piece. First cut I made, the piece was flipped up. Now I'm gonna flip it over so that way my angles are going the right direction. Now, rather than trying to nail this, I'm gonna sneak up on it. So I'm gonna cut a little bit proud of my line, and then I'll come back and I'll trim this piece up. Before I make that second cut, I'm just gonna double check it in the box. Yep, it's too big, but my mark looks like it's at the right spot. So here we go, here's our first piece of lining. Fits real nice, not too tight, not too loose. As you see, we have about a 1/4 inch lip right here that'll catch the top of the box. So now we'll finish cutting the rest of our pieces and get them put in place. With all the liner pieces cut to size, now it's just time to slide them in place. If you do a really good job and get these pieces nice and tight, you really don't even need glue. I'm gonna throw just a little bit on there. I really don't even need to. I feel like I should, so I'm going to. Now, one thing to keep in mind, if you do put glue on these and you're sliding them down into place, especially with this last one, you're gonna get a bunch of squeeze out in between your box and your liner. So just bear that in mind. If you are putting glue on, kind of angle them and then wedge them into place. That way you don't get a whole bunch of glue smeared up on the edges. And I'm going to put just a little bit of glue down here at the very bottom on this one. And when I put it in, I'm gonna kind of bend it away from me, kind of like you're putting in a piece of coped baseboard. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to wipe this down anyways, but oh, there we go. All right, you can see how much I was bending it away. And so now I'm just gonna push it in, walk it down a little bit at a time on each side. You can hear how nice and tight that joint is. And then look at those inside corners. They look really good. Alrighty, so from here, we'll go ahead and take all this tape off. So now you can see why I said to sand all of your pieces before you start cutting, because can you imagine trying to get in there to sand all that nice and smooth? So it's really good to go ahead and have your pieces pre-sanded before you start cutting everything to final size. So one thing I did while the box itself was being glued together with top and bottom is I lined up the burl to be in the same orientation. So you see there's a little bit of clear grain down here in this corner, and then most of the burl is right there. So I did the same thing for the top to just, you know, kind of help me align everything when the box is being closed. So I'm just going to do a little bit of hand sanding along this edge, along that edge, just to give a little bit of a hint of an opening. And then I'm also going to soften these leading edges around the liner, and that's going to let this box lid drop onto place real nice. It's almost there, but since the liner is so nice and tight, these edges are catching these inside edges of the box lid and keeping it from dropping down just real easy. When we're done, we want to be able to drop this lid on there and it'll fall into place without even having to push on it. Even with the best of glue ups, but you will still have some small gaps in your miters. That can be just kind of annoying, but there's a really easy way to fix it. You can squirt some glue, or you can just take a screwdriver or a round piece of metal and roll that edge over. And we'll do it from both directions. Obviously, if you throw some glue in there, it's going to help that wood to stay in place through seasonal humidity changes, but just that little bit of running the screwdriver over it, you can see that it is closed back up. So real quick, I want to show you that cushion fit like I was talking about. I ease the edges on all of the pieces all around the top, this edge, etc., and soften the edge, the leading edge here on the lining. So now when I go to set this lid on place, it falls right on there. It's not hanging up or anything, it just falls right down. Now it's not sloppy, right? But there's just enough clearance so it sits down real nice. So there are a lot of different products you can use to finish a simple box like this. I thought about doing just paste wax that would look nice and give it a little bit of protection, but I do love the look of Rubio on cherry and walnut, so that's what we're gonna go with. Plus, it smells nice. So I'll go ahead and finish the outside and the bottom first. Now once you get a good application on an area, you want to go back and wipe it back. You want to wipe off all of the excess. And here's the thing, you can't wipe away too much because it makes a bond with the wood on the molecular level from what I'm told, and you literally cannot wipe away too much, and only enough will even adhere to the wood. So once you get an application all over the thing or all over that particular surface, just go back with a clean rag and wipe it back. I'm making sure that I get into the corners because I don't want to have any buildup there. All right, so check that out. See how nice the grain pops? Looks really good. And I'll go ahead and do the sides. Now, some people like to use 3M Scotch-Brite pads for applying the finish. I do that sometimes, especially if it's a large surface like a tabletop, but for a little box like this, just a paper towel is all you need. I'll let that set up for a little bit while I go ahead and finish the inside of the lid. All right, well, after a couple hours of work and one lunch break, we now have a nice decorative box with that slip fit lid, nice lining, and some burl there on the top. I hope you enjoyed the project.